Okay, thank you, Denise, and good morning, everyone. In Japan, you have to say "Ohayo gozaimasu." Good morning. So, good morning, everyone. I'm Jimmy from Taiwan in the GIS Research Center in Feng University. Thanks for Denise's invitation for the geospatial technology applications for smart city. It was listed as a new Taipei city because we thought of invite one officers from New Taipei City in Taiwan to introduce the kind of smart city for that city, but he cannot make it. So finally, I'll talk about the Taichung city. Taichung city is where my university locates in central Taiwan. When we talk about location powers, when you see this graph, what would you see for location powers? This is a very famous fleet management in Japan, and it's also #1 fleet, the logistic company in Taiwan now. We put almost probably 30 sensors in every car. There are more than 3,000 transportation vehicles in Taiwan now for this company. It's called Brad Cat Delivery Company. It's the #1 home delivery or logistic company in Japan and also in Taiwan. We put lots of sensors. Among all those sensors, we could always be very careful about, just like when we carried this one, like for this several days, they know exactly like what's the frequency you go to toilet every day, and they know exactly who you've been sitting with, and everything. How long you took for the lunch because you have to take it out. So same thing as this kind of location powers. If we put all the kind of sensors for all this kind of vehicle, then we'll be able to see lots of things. So in Taiwan, we put lots of this kind of sensors along different kind of vehicle, just like we know exactly who is driving what kind of vehicle at which location. But nowadays, we can also simultaneously retrieve the online video exactly to know what the driver is doing now and where he just passed for, because all this kind of video has like front video and back video, and also inside the trucks. Those kind of trucks are some of the like petroleum trucks, carry some dangerous article or something. So we know exactly where are those location, and whenever this kind of location counts, then it's very, very powerful. In Taiwan, every city have some kind of like traffic problems, so they need to have a certain kind of touring car. So in Taichung city, every touring car is equipped with every sensors. So you know exactly your car being towed, and you know where it goes to and how much you need to pay to get it back. And you know exactly everything, because the sensors are everywhere now. The sensors are everywhere now. So even for a touring car, even while we're in Taiwan, we're still monitoring some of the trucks in mainland China, because we use the map of China. In China, they have completely different map systems with outside the world. They don't use Google Earth. Facebook, you can only log on to Facebook when that person is in Beijing. So only that several days. Otherwise, you have to say climb the world or use the VPN to log on to the Facebook, and even Google Earth. So you cannot use a Google Earth map. You have to use their map. It's called Baidu. So this is Baidu map. But we can use that in Taiwan. But we have to convert some of the coordination things. It's very, very peculiar. It's very, very strange things. There's some secret inside. So you have to convert with our location. Then you can monitor. Like for us, we can monitor some of the trucks in mainland China. This will make the government pretty nervous about in China. Because we can monitor lots of trucks in mainland China directly from Taiwan, because we can send a signal back. So this is already being implemented for this kind of like moving features and other things, but it's different kind of standard story. So Taichung City was a small one with a fully urbanized city. Some of you have been in Taichung for 4 years ago, while the OGCTC meeting in Taichung, and I think some of you had very, very good experience, like Stan, very, very good experience about one of the very famous water things. So this is Taichung City. After that, because just after that event, the Taichung City has merged with the Taichung County, so the population become 2.66 million people, and the area has enhanced about 20 times. But for the past 15 years, we made lots of different kind of information, different kind of road maps, everything. We have 1 to 1,000 very, very detailed GIS map for the entire city. And with all the pipeline, everything, urban map, even for the household, the number, everything. So it's been very, very detailed recorded for all the, even for the traffic signal and everything, for different aerial photo in different time span, and so, but still. It existed like the challenge before, like how to integrate, how to offer different kind of opportunities, how to make it like open data for decision maker or for the local citizens. So before, the local city has supplied for the urban planning maps to different institute or governmental agencies, but now they can apply everything by just one-stop service in digital map library, because Taichung City government has spent 15 years in creating this kind of digital map library, and up to this 3 or 4 years, they focus on the standardization, they focus on the integration, the interoperability. So now all the citizens can use the cadastral map, urban planning map, locations, and everything, 3-dimensional maps, everything as a data integration. Not only this one, but also because of the high-tech technique development for surveying technique. Before, the traditional surveying technique is on the ground with the two-dimensional surveying things. You have to adjust all the facility, everything. But nowadays we can use many different equipment nowadays. Very easy to get all the information. Easily even to collect those information or to represent those information in very easy way to the normal citizens. And for example, like this is a LiDAR image for my campus. So nowadays it's very easy to collect all this kind of information, just depend on this facility. And we know exactly the 3-dimensional coordinate and everything, and about the fractals, the fractals of the different kind of spectrum. So we know exactly is this vegetation, or it's grass, it's a cement, it's building, it's everything. So for this kind of technique, we'll be able to understand lots of our environment, and also because of Taichung located at the central of Taiwan. So it's also a kind of akin to lots of different kind of nature disaster in Taiwan. We have earthquake, I think some of you heard about the number of the earthquake. Compared with Japan, it's nothing. Here, this is, you should experience some earthquake in this week, statistically, because, well, in Taiwan, you have earthquake 3 times a day, every day. It's not in one place, but it's spread out in the entire island. In Japan, it's higher. It's much higher. So have fun time here. So, and some of you have seen this video. I'll show that again because this is a we say debris flow monitoring facility to record everything. We were watching this video in the office on that morning. That was something last year. This is what we call debris flow. It happened every year. It happened every year in Taiwan, especially for those a very steep slope. So there are hundreds of village people. They live there still. They live there still. But every summer, for every this kind of typhoon event, they have to go to the shelter, stay over there for several nights, then went back. So continuously for years. they hate to remove any of their homeland. So not only the camera, but also some of the other geophone to retrieve the energy being show up by the like the audio systems. So we can track the low frequency and also the high frequency for the geophone, by the geophone. So we'll be able to tell probably in advance several seconds before, like where has the focus on the landslides situation at the upstream. And this is something happened every year. So as the city being smart, has to have lots of different kinds of sensors. For example, like this is also one of the river basin in central Taiwan. We put lots of this kind of camera and some other kinds of sensors along the entire river beds. So there are pressure sensor, there are breaker, there are vibration sensors. All the sensor can transmit all the information back directly 24 hours because the people need to track about if there are some kind of illegal activities. For example, like to dig those kind of precious like the gravels and because in Taiwan some of the material for the building are pretty expensive. For example, sand, gravel, and very fine soil. So on the river basin, normally it has to be paid by the public and then have some kind of management. So we can 24 hours also not only for the disaster management, but also for if there's any kind of illegal activity being happened in any part in the river basin. But the problem still exists. You cannot have one person look at all the video, look at all the sensors by yourself because it has to be smart, as we say, a smart city. It has to be smart. So we also did this kind of very smart system, enable the computer to analyze everything on the background, but has to check. It's not malfunction by just one sensor. It also check the water level, check the rainfall gauge, everything else, and to identify and also to warn from green light to yellow light, then to red light directly on the background by the computer itself. So we developed this kind of algorithm, but it's different in every village in Taiwan. We have to set up different kind of threshold for every different kind of village. So in Taiwan, because of this kind of very high intensity of the typhoon event, so the government also puts lots of this kind of web services out, so the public will be able to access all kinds of information, like the video, like if there's still green light or yellow light or red lights already in any part at the mountain side. So not only the number, but also the light, the color of the light, like the green means safe, the yellow means you have to be warned, and the red means it's already been dangerous. So they're very simple color of the light. So for the computer and also for anyone who access this kind of information. And the same thing in Taiwan, we try to put lots of different kinds of sensors for water quality and water quantity. So not only the water quantity you have to measure around, but also some of information for the water quality also, because this is one of the watershed reservoirs near Taipei. 5 million people drink the tap water from that watershed reservoir. So it's a very important watershed in Taiwan. And we put lots of different kinds of sensors in all the stations, so you can easily access the online simultaneously the water quality and quantity information, and also with the historical information for all the different kinds of sensors along the entire watershed in Taiwan. As a city being smart, not only for the other kind of information, but also in Taiwan, we developed this kind of UAV by ourselves. We have about 10 sets of different sizes of this kind of UAV. So for the UAV, we could put the very HD camera, video, and multi-spectrum sensor, even LiDAR now. And we can real time for transmitting things. So for the UAV, we can identify lots of ground information by automatic controlling system, and also by all the post-processing of the data and information being inquired, especially for, like, this is for the near infrared multispectrum reflectance by the UAV. And also we can create an orthophoto, like very easily, just in 2 to 3 hours, we can create several hundred hectares of area about the three-dimensional information for very, very detailed information directory. This is close to our campus, just a new developed land zone. So, and also with a kind of multispectrum, we can use NDVI as to identify if the vegetation is good or bad. Nowadays in Taiwan, we even broadcast the professional baseball, broadcast the 101 fireworks. Like this year, the 101 fireworks. This is the 101 fireworks. If you haven't seen that, we have a contract with a local TV company. They have a contract with the CNN also. So CNN used probably several seconds of that video directory on that day, because they need everything like online. So we use the UAV to create lots of this kind of information. And if you haven't been to Taichung, this is the city in Taichung in the night time. And we use a UAV, and this is a hotel, one of the very famous hotels. You can very easily, well, I'm sorry because of the projector. Otherwise, it's HD quality, so you can identify what they're doing inside their room. So you can see everything without any kind of privacy. Well, oh, we have the license from the government. They say yes, we can we can have this video in the night. So look at the entire Taichung city during the night. You can tell lots of information. So this is a nighttime in Taichung city, and also in one of the eastern part of the Taiwan, there's a balloon festival every year now. So it lasts for 3 months. It's really beautiful. It's really beautiful in the eastern side of Taiwan. So we also have to get approved by the government to make the UAV here, because it's pretty dangerous. You have a UAV surrounded by those hot balloons. Well, if any accident happened, I mean, it will be on the headline of the newspaper tomorrow. So it's during the night, during the daytime. So it's really beautiful. It's really beautiful. So for a smart city, for the government, you have to have a very, very good way to promote. Let me ask you, anyone can tell which city this is? Or which country this is? This is not Taiwan, this is not Japan. This is very famous, the Yellow Duck by, have you heard? It was in Hong Kong and to Taiwan, to several countries in the world. This is in Vietnam, one of the south city of the Ho Chi Minh city. It's been developed by a very famous Taiwanese businessman before. And they have more than 2,000 hectares of area being developed. And for the first stage, they developed more than 600 hectares. So they need something to promote their second stage and third stage on this area. We were there for shooting all these video things and promote everything. They have 17 kilometers of the boulevard inside this area. 17 kilometers of the boulevard, and very, very high quality of the residential houses over there. It's when we arrive there, you can really hard believe this is Vietnam. If any one of you have been to Vietnam, to Hanoi or to Ho Chi Minh City, this is completely different as what you've seen as Vietnam. But this is Vietnam. This is one of the southern cities in Vietnam. It's pretty famous now, and it's a whole developed as a smart cities, like or they have golf course. They have lots of different kind of exercise and very, very high quality of the hotel, residential, and even for the primary school and everything. So it's a self-independent society or community. They even ask us to shoot someone is doing this kind of activity, exercise over there. It's not every Vietnamese doing this kind of activity every day. It's not. But this is a very good way to promote. Same thing like in Taichung. As we put for the past 15 years of all those kind of GIS data warehouse, then we try to promote all the thing out by cloud-based platform. So one of the platform we did for the past 5 years is a kind of platform you can share with the other officers. So in Taichung City, all the officers, they can share this kind of interoperability web GIS platform. So they can easily retrieve any certain period of the aerial photo, satellite image, urban planning map, cadastral information, who is living here, and all the attribute data, everything. They can directly share everything directly on the web. And also for a new area to be developed, like this one, this is a new area will be developed for the next 5 years. So the government has very good strategy and also the urban planning strategy for the entire area. So they need to control about the progress of each building. So this will be a new Taiwan Tower building in the next 5 years. So we have the platform, not only the GIS, but also we can know all the budget being performed for each different building, everything. So we can easily perform the construction progress and each project progress, and just by this kind of common shared platform among and between those governmental officers to make it even smarter city, and also for the city mayor and all the chair or director, everything is interoperability. So from the iPad or any kind of mobile device, it's the same thing as a data warehouse. It's the same thing. So they can share all the things. So we've been creating this kind of data warehouse for the past 15 years, but now for the past 3 to 5 years, we put everything as an integration and different organization to work together. So that's how to make it as a smarter city. So we even make this kind of video to introduce how smart for the Taichung City it is. Like for one of the newly developed area, what will be the future? Like this is completely underdeveloped now. So what will be the future? The future there will be integrated operating centers to control everything. And we know exactly every sensors, we know exactly the facility, everything to get to know the entire area. Because that will be a new developed area in the next 5 years. We even developed some kind of scenario for the tourism, because inside there is just like you say, it's a kind of like green city. Only not any of those kind of diesel or gas facility will be able to drive there. You can only use the kind of like non-diesel, non-gas vehicle. And this is another example. As a city in southern Taiwan, they're also trying to promote, they are pretty smart. So what we did is we tried to organize and we try to integrate with the past several years about all their urban planning project for the future. So we try to identify the traffic, like the good way of each zoning things, and to tell the local citizen about how smart it will be for the entire developed zones in the future. This is also one of the programs are going on for the next 5 years in Kaohsiung City. This is another city. So we try to have this kind of promotion, tell those local citizens, like this will be the zoning for the university, that will be the zoning for the new park, and you can expect you have very good life quality after this development, everything. So this is what we say as a smart city. So it's the same thing. As we say for a smart city, we means from the upstream, we have this kind of sensors, and we equip with lots of different kind of facilities, and to prevent some kind of disaster being happen at the upstream. And also in the central, we have lots of different kind of monitoring and sensors along the river basin side, and everything like the camera, like all this kind of facility, all this kind of sensor. Not only in this kind of like slope land or the mountain side, but also in the urban area, like if there'll be any kind of floods, there are also lots of this kind of floods sensors to sense where it has been merged or what's happening in any specific location. And there's integrated operating centers to integrate and also to monitoring the entire city. And also for each road and bridge, if this is still a safe bridge, or if this road being shut down because of the disaster or anything, or even the harbor side, there are lots of different kind of sensors, even for every ship and even for underground. So this is what we say is integrated monitoring for a city being smart. So this is why the Taichung city won the ICF community for the award of the champion for the smart city just 2 years ago, because of all this kind of things and all this kind of developed for the sensors, and everything can be integrated. So they award the Taichung city as a smart city champion in the world for 2 years ago. So the city can be even smarter by special information developed to encourage the collaboration. And lots of this kind of location-based services, just like what you carry on nowadays, like this several days, will be available for public and private sector. And there are lots of kind of data can brought together, and also the geospatial technology will be more compatible with the IT technology. I think this is also Denise was asking about what can be the future for the smart city, collaborate with the IT and collaborate with the OGC together. I think the IT being developed pretty fast and everything being improved pretty fast. So that's about my speech. Thank you. Arigatou gozaimasu.
Well, actually, yeah, we'll do questions now if that works for people. Has anybody got any questions that they'd like to ask Jimmy in terms of the presentation that he's just given? Josh?
So lots of great technology. Who in the city is pulling that technology into the operations of the city, the governance, who's the advocate, not from a technology point of view, but from a user point of view?
Okay. Well, in Taichung City, there's an information center. There's a director of an information center. So that center, we've been helping them for build a kind of project for them for the past probably 15 years. And in the very beginning, we built some kind of GIS data sets. The GIS data set, because in very early stage, none of those directors from other bureau, they care anything about the information science or like to distribute the information. So we build those kind of things for the past 15 years, and up to this probably 3 to 4 years, the city mayor pretty focused on the data sharing among different bureau, because he found out, especially when the Taichung City being merged with the Taichung County together, it's been like 20 times of the size. So there's no way to do everything traditionally, because like before, it's in a very urbanized city, so you can transport to any part of the city very easily just in half hour. But nowadays, it might take you like 4 to 5 hours to go to another place inside the city.
Yeah.
So they have to use some kind of more even smarter things. So probably about 4 years ago, they talked about same thing like interoperability, everything. So the city mayor asked all the bureau, they have to share the common information. So we try to collaborate with them for different bureau directors work together. So every month they have a meeting together with all the bureau director, talk about this kind of smart city, this kind of information, especially in Taichung City. There will be a new developed zone, just like I showed on the video. It's about 270 hectares. It's the largest purely developed. It was an airport before, so it's all flat. The entire area is flat, and also it's in the center of the city. So it's very precious land. So they have to be very careful about every construction in that area. So it's supposed to be a green park. So under that 274 hectares, there will be 74 hectares of central park. So completely park, and park with all the sensors, with the solar panel, with the hydrology information, meteorology information. So the city mayor, one time the police station, they have a project to set more than 70 camera in this area. But the problem is the entire area haven't been developed, but they have to finish the project to set up the monitoring camera inside the area in 1 year. But just after 1 year, none of the land will be developed, because it will be developed for the next 3 to 5 years. But the police department, they have no idea how about the progress. So they waste that project. They completely waste, because they open the project and someone of the company bid for the project, got the project, but they cannot do anything about the project because the entire area haven't been developed. Even when the project deadline is over, I mean, the entire area haven't been developed. So that's a problem being raised by the mayor. So the mayor asked all the directors, you have to share all the information directly. So that's why they pretty focus on the information distribution. Every bureau, they have to use the same kind of platform. For example, like in Taichung City, they have the kind of, every month they have a kind of director meetings. And the only thing you can use is an iPad to show your progress for everything inside that newly developed park area in the future. So the only thing you can show is your iPad. So you cannot use any other like document or paper, anything. You have to use what's on the website. So on the website, you can easily identify if this bureau has been delayed, if this bureau is okay, if this is on good progress, everything. So the mayor is quite focused on this one. So that's why. So I think that's one of the key issues.
Yeah.
Okay, I think we probably get time for one more question, John.
You gave an example regarding new building construction progress monitoring. Can you just share a little more detail about that and the level of any type of interactivity with the players, whether they're governmental, private, or financial institutions, and that they're involved with that new construction cycle?
Sure. Well, for the Taichung City government, they try to start the BIM things very recently. But for the one I showed is only to control the budget flow. For example, like the budget flow, the finance department, they control the budget flow, and they have to make sure the private company or the constructor has received the correct amount of the budget, because they finish the progress on time. So if it's delayed, correct.
Yeah.
So the mayor needs to know about the budget control. So that's the only way to show if it's still in the progress. So that's the only, that's the things I show in the video. The things we're doing now is a BIM now. Like we've been working together with the Department of the Construction Bureau in Taichung City government. They really try to do lots of things like all the design or the architecture for the entire building, everything, every detail things under the Bing systems. But we're still put everything together now, so it's still separate system. Like for the Bing system, for the budget control system, it's still separate now. But in the future, it will be one. So we're looking for that.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you very much, Jimmy.